The quiet gravity of a shared umbrella and why small moments are actually the biggest things we ever do. I was 19, driving a beat-up sedan that smelled like stale fries and old gym socks. It was pouring, one of those heavy Midwestern rains that turns the sky into a sheet of gray slate. I saw him outside a 24-hour diner, just standing there. No jacket, no umbrella, just staring at the pavement while the rain soaked through his thin t-shirt. I don't know why I pulled over. I wasn't a hero. I was actually running late to pick up my girlfriend. But something about the way his shoulders were hunched, it looked like he was carrying the weight of the entire world, and his knees were finally starting to buckle. I rolled down the window and yelled, "Hey, you want to ride? You're going to catch your death out here." He didn't look up at first. Then he slowly turned. His face was blank, totally hollow. He hesitated, then climbed into the passenger seat. He didn't say a word for 10 minutes. The only sound was the rhythmic thump-thump of the windshield wipers. I started rambling, that nervous, fast-paced American small talk. I talked about how much I hated the local football team's kicker, how the bridge on 4th Street was always under construction, just noise. Finally, I asked him where he was going. He looked at his hands and whispered, "I don't think I have a destination anymore." Something in my chest tightened. I didn't drop him off at a street corner. Instead, I took him to a late-night donut shop. I bought him a black coffee and a glazed donut, and we just sat there. We didn't talk about his problems. We talked about movies. We talked about how the city looks at 3 in the morning. I treated him like a person. When I finally dropped him off at an apartment complex, he looked at me, really looked at me, and said, "Thanks for the coffee, man. I I really needed that." Fast forward 5 years. I'm at a grocery store, reaching for a carton of eggs, when someone taps my shoulder. It's him. He's wearing a suit. He looks vibrant, healthy. He tells me he's a teacher now. Then his voice drops. He says, "I never told you this, but that night, I had a note in my pocket. I had a plan. I was standing in that rain waiting for the courage to walk into traffic." He swallowed hard, his eyes shimmering. "But then, this guy in a loud, rusty car yelled at me about a football kicker and bought me a donut. And suddenly, I realized I wanted to see the sun come up one more time. All kicker and bought me a donut. And suddenly, I realized I wanted to see the sun come up one more time. I just stood there, holding my eggs, speechless. It's crazy, right? We think we need to save the world with these huge cinematic gestures, but sometimes all it takes is a cheap coffee, a little bit of your time, and the willingness to see someone when they feel invisible." Long, dramatic pause. Be kind. You never know who's just waiting for a reason to stay.